Hi everyone, my name is Mason Sontag and I'm going to be taking you on some gorge tours today. I'm a junior, I am a musical theater major, and I am from Canada, which is some fun stuff about me. Now I'm going to cut to a moment and we're going to be in a gorge. Let's have fun. Alright, here we go on the Rim Trail at Buttermilk Falls. So yeah, a little bit about me, as I mentioned before. I'm a musical theater major. I'm a junior, and I'm from Canada. I came to Ithaca, across the border, because not only because I'd heard a lot of great stuff about the musical theater program, but also because it provided a liberal arts education, and I wanted to learn more than just about what was in my major. I wanted to know, more about. I love learning, so I wanted to learn more, and that's how I kind of got here, and I've stayed here. I've been lucky enough to stay off campus in my junior year, so I get to do my online classes with my roommates, which I'm really lucky about. And also means I'm able to walk these gorges, which is really nice. It's been hard, over quarantine, figuring out how to exercise in a way that is both emotionally and physically healthy. Before quarantine started, I was going to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, about an hour and a half each time. So, I was pretty invested. And then, since we were quarantined, I haven't been to a gym in 6 months, which is, I could never have imagined. 6 months ago, I would have never imagined that. None of us could for a lot of reasons. But I think I've learned a lot about, at least for myself, I've learned a lot about what it means to be healthy, and what health means, and what fitness actually means to me. I think for a long time, very kind of misguidedly, I was younger. I used to think that health and fitness were just about physical level, and not even just physical health, but like aesthetic physical health, like looking good, looking what the American definition of, the North American definition of good is, low percentage body fat, lots of muscle, all that kind of stuff. And that led to a lot of issues for me. So for musical theater, you do need to be, there's an industry standard of being in shape. And that kind of standard led me to a lot of my ideas about what physical health means. But what that definition didn't incorporate was the wellness wheel, which is something that I would recommend looking up if I were you, because it talks about how health there's more to health than just physical health. Because so over quarantine, I, wasn't able to work out in the same way that I had been before, and so initially started getting really down on myself. And then, as I started getting more and more tough on myself, my motivation to work out decreased drastically, and I stopped working out for weeks at a time. And so, I got a little bit out of shape compared to what I had been, because I was going about it the wrong way. I was going about it from the sense that, I have to work out so that I can be healthy. I'm working out. I need to work out so that my body is fit and I'm in shape and I look good, right? As opposed to working out because I wanted to work out, which I think is the way to go about it. Because really, when it comes down to it, your body knows what it needs. Your body knows if you're hungry, or you need to sleep, or you need rest break, you need a mental break, right? I'm not saying, take continuous rest days and, take every day off, but your body knows what it needs to do. And it knows what it needs to do to make itself feel good. And that was realizing that was important for me because it helped me realize that exercising can be more than just about physical health. Exercising is a piece of, also bringing into balance your mental and spiritual health, or it can be, which I didn't really get at the gym, but because I'm in Ithaca, I have found that on these walks, because there's so many gorge trails in Ithaca. And on these trails, it's a good workout because you can get a 6-mile walk or run, just a while. It takes about a couple hours to do or more. So there's the physical aspect to it. You can hear me breathing heavily right now. But there's the side to it of, exploring, seeing new things, being in nature, right? Being one with actually the environment that you're in and learning about it. Learning to respect it. Let's take a peek over the top here. Maybe we can start to see the edge of the river. Not quite. Can you see it there? Way down there. We're gonna get around there pretty soon. We're on the rim trail right now, so we're gonna get up over top of the waterfalls. But there's also there's a very cathartic element to these walks, where they're a great way to just escape from. There's so much going on right now, and there's so much that's important that's going on right now, but it can be a lot to deal with in every second of every day, especially with the age of social media and the polarization of so much of what's going on in the world right now. Just taking some time to, exercise in a way that is sustainable, and you get some work done, but also gives you the time to just process, disconnect from the world a bit, and just take time to think about you and yourself and your place in the world, or to just again be in nature, because it's a beautiful thing. There's beauty all around us. So if you have any paths or something in your town or city, or if you're in the countryside, I'd recommend, taking a walk on them. Go exploring a little bit. Go find some. It's a great workout, and also a great way to just kind of mentally check in with yourself. Because before, for me, I was living a fitness-wise and unsustainable lifestyle, as I was bound to be unhappy when results didn't show up, or if my body forced me to take a rest day because it was just too tired, and then results stopped showing up. I was bound to, get angry at myself and kind of go backwards, because I would take days off that I shouldn't have. Not necessarily shouldn't have, but take more days off than would be a good idea, right? And now, with a more equitable and sustainable health regimen, where I work out some days, and sometimes I go for walks, and find other ways to exercise. I find I'm working out more and more regularly, much more like I used to. But I'm doing it not because I want to be fit or fit this idea of what I think fit should be, but because my body says, I want to move, and so I move. Starting to rain here a bit, so the audio may cut out when I put the case on. But if that does happen, I'll let you know. something just really magical about, and that we're lucky to have this nature in Ithaca. Because one second you can, be in your home, be in, going to Taco Bell, and the next you can kind of step into this little wonderland that's totally disconnected from kind of the chaos that we live in. Like, this tree won't be affected by anything that's going on in the world. It'll still grow, right? And when you come out here, you can kind of join that, I find. You can, take the time to really investigate and notice that stillness. Head down here. Backtrack, see what's down here, do some investigating. And then around there. Oh yeah, it's less of a path. We're gonna go further though, actually. We're gonna go back out because we want to take the long trail. Just taking this time can be very, it can be a very spiritual experience. Even if you're non-religious, which is, I'm pretty non-religious. Just taking the time to kind of connect with your inner self. It's important, and again, I find times like this help. Because, reflecting on who you are as a person and, what you need, what your body needs and what you need to be, with a healthy, sustainable lifestyle is just as important as working out. But it can be hard to do that when surrounded by, again, living in the age of social media, when surrounded by so much all the time, so much information. Look at that. We're way high up. We're way high up. It's starting to rain now for sure. It's a lovely sound. Not that truck, but it's really starting to rain now. I might put you all in this little container here, and I will, if it gets any harder, I'm going to put you all in the container. And the audio may cut out. on the topic of wellness, which is the whole point of this series. You know, it's taken me a long time to figure out what actually makes me happy and healthy as a person. Because I think happiness is a part of being healthy. And not in the sense of like, you know, like single moments, but like in my life as a whole. What do I need to be happy, to be fulfilled? But I think that learning about that is important. And I feel like I've learned more about that over this quarantine period. And again, I think that leads back to self-reflection, right? And it's because it's not about what society poses as happiness. It's not about, you know, first idea of, you know, I'm going to be happy if I have the most money, and I'm going to be happy if I'm the, the best person at my job, and all this kind of stuff. Because those are, you know, it's good to have money. It's good to be in a position where you can make change in, your industry or have an effect on, other people in an industry that you are invested in. But that's not all there is to happiness. Happiness is over a lifetime is, built into who you are and into how you affect other people everywhere, in all circles that you're a part of. And the only way to figure out what makes you happy is self-reflection. Because you can't just force yourself to be happy. Happiness is a byproduct of action. What can you do in your life that may result in you being happy? What actions can you take that might make you happy, that might fulfill you, right? You can't know unless you think about it. Unless you pause to take stock of who you are and what you need. You won't find that. You might not be able to find, it'll be harder to find that happiness. And the thing is that happiness can change. The things that make you happy can shift. What once made you feel fulfilled may no longer, right? My mom, for example, my mother has, I think, changed careers 3-4 times now. Because she's in one right now that is where she feels fulfilled. But, when she was younger, she just started university, just like us. She wanted to be a doctor. She went through, she was in pre-doc, she was about to get in a school for being a doctor. She got all the way through pre-med and then decided, this doesn't make me happy anymore. This isn't fulfilling. This isn't what I need in my life. So she switched. And she got a different degree in pharmaceuticals. Then changed it again, and now she's in journalism, and now she's in communications, right? And so it took her time. It took her a lot of time to figure out what made her fulfilled, what made her happy, but she did. The things that made her happy changed. The things that made her feel fulfilled changed. The things that made her be the best person that she could be, the best version of herself, the best version of herself that she wanted to be changed. Because they will, they always do. That's okay. What that means is that you can't just, take that self-reflection time once. You're like, oh, I figured it out. This is how I'm going to be happy for the rest of my life. No, learning about who you are is a lifelong process. And a very important one. Because if you don't know who you are, how can you accept who you are if you don't really know? And if you can't accept who you are, how can you ever, and you can't love who you are because you don't know who you are, how can you accept and love others? Because the first person you have to know is ourselves. And learning who we are as people is a part of health. It's part of being healthy. By knowing who I am, by learning about who I am, I'm doing emotional and spiritual exercise, right? I'm learning about myself. I'm inquiring about the nature of who I am.